students, welcome to this new lecture series. We are starting today with learning science in the form of question and answer. In this video series, we will be doing important topic from chapters, NCERT chapters in the form of question and answer. So today we are starting with chapter 1, class 8, crop production and management. First question, when you see a chapter like crop production and management, the first question that arises in our mind is, what is agriculture? Students, the practice of growing crop is called agriculture. Whenever certain kind of food crops or commercial crops or cash crops or even the plantation crops, different kind of crops can be grown. So whenever you are growing anything, that practice is known as agriculture. In Latin, the word ager means field or agri means field, and the culture means the cultivation. That means the whole term agriculture refers to the art of growing crops. Now, usually person who grows crop, many times they are involved with rearing of animal, which is known as the livestock farming or animal husbandry, right? So if you get this kind of question in examination, that what is agriculture or what do you understand by agriculture, you can write agriculture refers to the practice of growing crop, and when we are growing crop and we are rearing animal together, we call it as livestock farming or animal husbandry. Coming to the different type of crop that can be grown during agriculture. The first and foremost is the food crop. Now all kind of cereals, all kind of pulses, oil seed, sugar crop, they are included in food crop. We have commercial crop also that are used for businesses, that are used for trading, and they involve jute, cotton, rubber, etc. We have cash crops. Now cash crops are certain crops that are, you can say, economically more benefiting for the farmer. They involve coffee, spices and rubber. Apart from cash crop, we also have plantation crops that involves tea, which is grown in large orchards, and fruit which are grown in garden. The next question that can be asked from the same topic is, what is horticulture? Many times agriculture and horticulture are confused. So the science of cultivating fruits, vegetables, flowers and ornamental plants is known as horticulture. Horti is also same as garden. So, science of cultivating fruit, vegetable, flowers and ornamental plant is known as horticulture. Let's move to the next question. What are main type of crop? Right now we saw certain kind of crops, but they were the crop based on the economy, you can see. These type of crops are based on their season of sowing. As you know, not all crop can be grown in all seasons. We have seasons divided or crops divided as per their growing season. So on the basis of season of sowing, we can divide crops into two broader categories. First one being the Kharif crop. Kharif crops are sown during monsoon. It is very evident from the name that these crops must be needing more amount of water. That's why they are sown during monsoon. And any farmer who is involved in growing Kharif crop will not have to wait for the rain to come. So Kharif crops are sown during monsoon. Accordingly, they are harvested around last of October or in the beginning of November. These plants require a lot of water. And some examples include rice, jute, maize, cotton, etc. The another category of crop is Rabi crop. They do not require water in the relative in the just equal to Kharif crop. That means they require less water. Their water requirement is less. They are generally sown in October, or we can say in the start of winter, and they are harvested in the end of March or in the beginning of April. Some example of Rabi crop include wheat, mustard, gram, etc. Right? This point, that is what are main type of crop on the basis of season of sowing, that is taking consideration to the season in which these crop can be sown, and this mainly involves the requirement of the water. Now the question, very popular question that can be asked from the portion that we have done till now is, why Kharif crop cannot be grown in Rabi season? So for answering such question, you need to know what are Kharif crop. So first thing that we need to know what are Kharif crop, and Kharif crops are those which are sown during the monsoon. The second question in which is there in the question is, why can't they be grown in Rabi season? Because we are not having much rain during the Rabi season, and if we are growing Kharif season at the end of the monsoon, then these plants are not going to survive. Always remember student, if we are sowing Kharif crop at the end of monsoon, that doesn't mean that the whole crop is going to be destroyed. No, this is not going to happen. But the yield would be very less. The quality of crop grain would be very decreased. They won't be in a proper shape. So if such question is asked in the examination, why Kharif crop cannot be grown in Rabi season, the simple answer would be, as we know, Kharif crop require a lot of water, and for this reason they are sown during monsoon season, so they cannot be grown during Rabi season, as we do not have much rainfall during the Rabi season, right? Coming to the next question, give two example of Rabi and two example of Kharif crop. Now this is easy. You can go through the previous PPT and write down its answer. Two Rabi crop include wheat, mustard, gram, etc. and Kharif crop include rice, jute, maize, cotton. One very popular question from exam, why can't we grow paddy during winter? Or why paddy is grown during monsoon only? The reason is because they require a lot of water. And if we are not growing them in monsoon, they are not going to survive. Coming to the next topic, what are the agricultural practices? So students, before growing any crop, we need to do certain things to the soil. We need to prepare our soil for the agriculture. And these sequential alterations which are done to the soil are known as the agricultural practices. I have mentioned some of the agricultural practices in the slide. So the preparation of soil is the first practice that we are supposed to do. Then comes the sowing. The process of putting seed into the soil is known as sowing. Adding manure and fertilizer. If the soil is not having enough nutrient, we can add manure and fertilizer. Giving them proper water so that they can grow. That means irrigation. The practice of providing water to the crop plant is irrigation. Once a plant has grown, say up to 5 or 10 inches, we need to protect them from the unwanted plants or grasses that are growing with our crop plant. That is protecting from the weeds. So the weeds include unwanted, undesirable plants that are growing along with your crop plant. Then we have the harvesting. Harvesting is the practice of taking out, or you can say cutting down your crop plant once it has ripened. And last but not the least is the storage. It may sound simple that after a crop is done, storage is an easy thing. But no, storage could be the most tedious job out of the above. If a ripened grain is not stored properly, the whole labor that has been given in agriculture can go to vain. So now we are going to see these topics in little more detail so that you will be able to answer the question if they come from this portion. First is, how is soil prepared for the agriculture? What are the things that need to be done if we want to prepare our soil for agriculture? If we want to grow something on the soil. So the first thing that is supposed to be done with the soil is plowing or tilling. Second is leveling. Third is manuring. Students, always remember, whatever practices we are mentioning here, this is not guarantee that all soil will need these practices. It may be possible that a soil is already nutrient rich at the time of sowing, so you can skip manuring. A soil is already in a good level, so the leveling step can be skipped. So these are some common practices that are done before agriculture or during agriculture, but certain steps can be skipped depending upon the need. So the practices that prepare our soil for agriculture include plowing, tilling, leveling, manuring. Coming to why is it important? Why do we need to prepare soil for agriculture? Why can't we just go and put seed? Maybe you may have done it earlier during your childhood, that when you eat something, you just go and put seed in the soil. And then you wait for days for the seed to germinate, and many times nothing happens. Right? So that does not happen just because soil is not prepared. So what is the importance of these preparation? First and foremost thing, plowing or tilling, it turns the soil. Soil get loosened and the nutrients are brought to the top layer of the soil. Always remember, the first 10 or 20 centimeter of the soil is very rich in nutrient, just because most of the decomposition is taking place at the top layer of the soil. So when you turn the soil, it gets loosened and nutrients are brought to the top layer of the soil. When our soil is loose, when our soil is turned up, it allows root to penetrate deep into the soil so that the root can breathe easily, so that it can absorb air easily. A loose soil also promotes growth of friendly microbes, and these friendly microbes, suppose earthworm, they in future or in turn add nutrient and humus to the soil. Now what does humus do with the soil? It is a black, or you can say brownish black colored substance similar to soil, but it just adds water retention capacity in the soil. It increases a soil's capacity to store water. When a soil is always moisture, plant is happy. They are happily growing in such kind of soil. So friendly microbe increases humus to the soil. It also adds organic matter by decomposition. There are several microorganisms that are living in our soil, like centipede, millipedes, ants, most of the kind of bacteria, fungi. They are all doing decomposition and adding organic matter in the soil. Now one more question comes from here. What is organic matter? A matter which is generated by the decomposition of the substance that have been generated from a living organism. That means right now what we are talking is the substance that include dead plants, dead animal, your kitchen waste, etc. We are not talking about the plastic or the metals, right? Organic belongs from the living system. So we have seen the importance of the soil preparation. Now the first point or the first preparation is plowing. Plowing is the turning or loosening of soil, as we discussed in the earlier slide. Plowing is done with the help of a wooden equipment. Nowadays it is metallic also. So it is done with the help of a wooden equipment which is known as plow, and it has a curved blade. Under normal condition, it can be pulled by an animal. Many times it can be pulled manually, or in a commercial scale it can be pulled with the help of a tractor. So plowing can be done manually if the field is really small. It can be pulled with the help of the animal, a pair of animal, or if in a commercial scale, on a commercial scale farming is being done, then tractors are used. We have already seen the name of equipments. So the name of equipment which is used for plowing is plow, students, please see this figure carefully, because in examination we get this figure and they ask you to identify the agricultural equipment. Second equipment that can be used is the hoe. It is a rod-like structure with a bent plate. And next is cultivator, in which several plow-like attachments are attached with a tractor. Right? They are having this kind of attachment. It's a comb-like structure, right? Coming to when we have already done plowing to our field, why is there a need of, you can say, leveling? Now here comes the reason. The plowed field sometimes can have big clumps of soil, and these clumps are necessary to be broken down before sowing seed, and these are broken down with the help of a leveler. So leveler just levels up the soil so that the sowing of seed is easier. Just like the plow, it can also be driven with the help of an animal or a tractor. Right? So leveling is very, very necessary after plowing. If your field has big soil clumps, then these are to be broken down. If it is not, then leveling can be skipped. Always remember, leveling can be skipped if there are no big clumps of soil present in the field. Next question is, why is manuring done to the soil? Why we need to do manuring? Now you understand it in this way. When crops are grown in same field year after year, that means every crop is utilizing the nutrient which is present in the soil. Right? And over the time, the soil or the field has become deficient in the nutrient. And when we add manure time to time, sometimes fertilizer, they help soil to replenish their fertility. That means the soil is more energetic, full of nutrients now when manure is being added to the soil. So manuring is necessary when a crop is grown in the field year after year. There are certain other processes also that can help in replenishing the soil fertility. We are going to discuss them later. So students, next question in the series is, how is seed sown in the field? There are different ways with the help of which a seed can be sown. The first and the easiest way is broadcasting. Broadcasting is simply taking seed in your hand and scattering it over the field. This can be done. This is very easy to do if the field size is small. Right? So it can be done manually. Just you need to spread the seed over the field and it's done. In otherwise way, we have a seed drill, which is a funnel shape, you can say, bowl which is connected with several tubes attached with the plow, right? And by the time plow makes furrow, seeds are sequentially dropped into the furrow. That means plowing and dropping of seed into the soil, or you can say sowing, is taking place almost simultaneously with the help of a seed drill. So this can be surely done with a large field, or if you really want to save your time and labor charges. Another way of sowing seed or sowing plant in the field is transplantation, which is done with the plants when you don't want to sow the seed directly into the soil. So these plants are first grown in the nursery in the form of on a small bed, and then they are shifted to the crop field. Just see how they look. This is how they look. That means if you want to grow the plants which has grown with the help of transplantation, you bring this seed bed to your home and then they are grown at a specific interval, right? And this is the seed drill. You can see we have a furrow attached here. So by the time plowing is getting done, seeds are also dropped into the field. So students, that's all from my side. Please follow for more. Thank you.